teachers! There's a topic going around the forums lately that I want to address. Many of you have received some feedback from your mentor and you have a lot of questions. As one of the many mentors for VIPKID, I want to take some time to address your concerns and help you interpret the feedback you've received from your mentor. Here's what you need to know. The teaching quality department has recently restructured a little bit, and it has changed our title from teacher evaluator to teacher mentor. What that means for you is that this evaluation or feedback that you will now receive has nothing to do with your standing as a teacher with VIPKID. The feedback that you receive now with the restructuring and the renaming of evaluation as mentor feedback means that this feedback is purely for your use. It is not used by VIPKID to determine whether you are a teacher in good standing or not. This is great news because you never have to worry about receiving a negative evaluation and wondering about whether it will affect your job. It's so difficult as humans to receive any kind of criticism, and even more so when we're worried that we may lose our income because of it. This small change has made it easier to receive the feedback and actually apply it rather than taking that feedback as a cause for worry. Your mentor is a fellow VIPKID teacher who has completed a certain amount of time with the company, has demonstrated excellent teaching skills, and has been invited to be part of the VIPKID Teacher Mentor program. Your teacher mentor is not an insider, meaning that your teacher mentor is not an employee of VIPKID, doesn't live in Beijing, and has no special pull with headquarters. You'll find a brief bio about your teacher mentor in the email in which you receive your teacher feedback. Some mentors give a lot of personal information and some give very little. Your mentor was assigned to you using a random process, most likely alphabetical order, in which he or she receives a block of names from, say, F to L, which they are supposed to evaluate for this period. You will not always have the same teacher mentor if you get various evaluations. You may be wondering, why am I being evaluated? Well, the short answer is you're being evaluated to provide you feedback to make yourself a better teacher. But if your question is more specifically, why am I being evaluated? That's a different story. From our viewpoint as teacher mentors, your name could end up on our evaluation list two different ways. Number one, you might request an evaluation yourself. This could be done for a variety of reasons, some of which we'll discuss later. The second way that you could end up on our evaluation list is that you could be placed there by the teaching quality gods. Teaching quality gods do not reveal their ways to the lowly mentors, so we don't know how you end up on the list either. Maybe you won the evaluation lottery. Maybe the numerical equivalent of your name when divided by pi is an odd number. Maybe headquarters heard something about how great of a teacher you are and they want to know for sure. Maybe they received a complaint about you, or maybe not. The reality is all of these guesses about the ways you may end up on the list are just guesses. We mentors really can't offer any enlightenment to you about how or why you would be chosen to get an evaluation. At the end of the day, we know three things. One, that the company has every right to evaluate its contractors. Number two, that the feedback is intended to help us become better teachers. And number three, that the evaluation you receive will not affect your standing with the company. Now we'll talk about the other way you can get on the evaluation list, by placing yourself there. Yes, you can now ask for an evaluation. This is great news because in the past there have been a lot of teachers out there wondering, am I doing a good job? Should my bookings be higher? How do I reach this particular student? I wonder if I'm doing TPR right. Now, because of the way the program is structured, you can request an evaluation of a particular class and get feedback exactly where you need it. Strong and capable teachers are now requesting feedback on certain classes. They know it's a good idea to have another set of eyes and ears listening and watching. They're taking the information that they receive to hone their skills and become an even better VIPKID teacher. The mentor will access a video of your class that you requested an evaluation for, or the class that was assigned for evaluation by the teaching quality gods. The mentor uses a rubric to determine areas of strength, areas of potential strength, or areas for growth. The rubric offers some good guidelines for supporting the grading system of the mentor. However, some of it can be objective or a gray area. When this occurs, the mentor will use the notes section to explain his or her choice for why you received that grading point. The mentor also uses the notes section to give special affirmation of your strengths, or to explain more thoroughly or give more ideas on improvement. Teacher mentors are paid per evaluation, and each evaluation is supposed to take around 30 minutes. But as a class is 25 minutes, sometimes up to 28 minutes, and there is a lot of feedback and writing involved, most teachers find that there is no way to complete the feedback in this amount of time. If you get a feedback form with every note column filled, then you can know that your mentor probably spent about an hour on your particular assessment. This just goes to show that the mentor is invested in developing the skills of the teachers and developing quality teachers for the company, regardless of its influence on their pay. Mentors are passionate about their roles in supporting the teaching community and hopeful that their contributions will make a difference. A great suggestion to keep in mind is to be open to the idea that the mentor may see things that you may not be able to see in your own class. I'll give you a personal example. When I first began teaching, I went and bought a light for my classroom, and I felt pretty great about my lighting situation. Some of you may have seen my video on how to stay looking alive in class, and you'll see my progression of how I started with one light and then I progressed to 3. Progressing to 3 lights was a direct result of feedback I got from my mentor. My mentor said, "Your face is illuminated, it's not dark, but there are some shadows." And I thought, I went and bought a light. My lighting is fine. But then I stepped back and I asked myself, do you want to know if there's something wrong? Do you want to know if there's room for improvement? And I had to say, yes, I want to know. And it's made all the difference. And now I have a video about lighting. The feedback that you receive could be the thing that you're best at. Maybe your mentor says something about you needing to improve your TPR, and you get inspired and you go learn everything you can about TPR, and then you become the TPR guru. It can happen if you have a positive attitude toward the feedback. Secondly, I'd encourage you to lay aside the excuses. We all have bad classes. We all have days that we don't want to be evaluated, and it seems to never fail that that particular class was the one chosen. I totally understand. I've been criticized before for something that I normally do correctly, and it was fine every day except that day. But the feedback is about that day, and that day did happen, and the parents did see that class. I've read some responses to mentor feedback that say something along the lines of, they chose a class where I was very tired. I hadn't gotten very much sleep the night before, and I had to teach on just a couple of hours. Maybe the teacher feels that she didn't deserve the feedback that she looked tired, because it was justified by not getting enough sleep. The thing is that regardless of why she looks tired, she did look tired. And the parents did see her tired. And she was tired for the child in class. For that reason, the feedback is necessary, even if it's on a bad day. I was recently chosen by the teaching quality gods to get an assessment myself. It came as a complete surprise in my inbox. When I read it, one of the notes was that I didn't play enough games in class. My initial response was, the evaluator doesn't know the student. The evaluator doesn't know our history. The evaluator doesn't know whether I've tried games and they've failed. The evaluator doesn't know that this child has a lot of weaknesses that I need to focus my time on instead. And I went through all the reasons that I didn't play games in class. But at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, did you play games in class? Do you normally play very many games? Would it add something to class if you did play games? And I realized this is really an area that I don't do very much at all. And today, when I had that student and she was getting a little distracted, I thought, why don't we play a game? It was a suggestion that I needed. So now, thanks to my mentor feedback, I will be looking up games to play in class on Fresh Desk, and I will be becoming a game expert. First, you'll want to read over your mentor feedback. Then, when you have a moment, with feedback in hand, access the classroom. You can do this by going into the teacher portal and under the classroom tabs, find the classroom that was mentioned, click on classroom, and it will take you to recording of the class. Watch the class with an open mind, as we mentioned before, taking note of what the teacher mentor pointed out. Your mission is to find as many examples as you can of what the mentor is talking about. For example, if the mentor mentions, you need to smile more, then when you go into the classroom video, your mission is not to find examples of times when you did smile. Your mission is to find examples of times you did not smile. This is all so that you can understand the impact that the mentor saw, and so a change can be made if necessary. When you review the class with the mentor's feedback in hand, you are assessing yourself. After you have assessed yourself, you are ready to find outside resources to help you. The mentor may leave teaching tips in the feedback. If not, you can go into Fresh Desk and search the term that was mentioned. For example, if the mentor mentioned that you need to use more props, then you can go into Fresh Desk and search for props. You'll find suggestions on prop management, on usage of props, on the types of props. You'll find similar topics on YouTube just by searching VIPKID props. You'll find many resources that teachers have already made. You can also take advantage of the teacher pool. Maybe you're a member of a VIPKID teacher forum or a Facebook group. Ask them, hey guys, I got a suggestion on my feedback that I use more props. What kind of props are you using? Other teachers can be a tremendous help, support, and resource. Well then, you obviously go to Facebook and tell everyone how great you are. Of course you don't. You give yourself a private pat on the back and encourage yourself knowing that you're a great teacher and that you are being effective. Hopefully this video has been somewhat helpful to somebody. If it has to you, please leave a comment. I'm sure other teachers would love to hear your experience as well. See you next time. Goodbye.